Hey guys, Dylan here, and it's that time of year again. Advent of Code will be starting soon. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can automatically download your Advent of Code input from a simple Python script without having to copy and paste. You'll be able to find the code that we write today on GitHub with a link down in the description, so please take a look. Now, let's get started. So here's a look at the code that we'll be writing today. As you can see on the left, I don't have any input text over here. But if I go ahead down to the terminal and run my script, giving it the day that I want to download input for, you can see it fetches my input and it shows up right over here. So let's get started with programming. So before we go ahead and get started, in order to make the request to the Advent of Code website, we will be using the Python request library. Now, if you don't have the request library installed on your computer, I'll show you how to do that now. We'll go ahead and head to a terminal. I'm just going to use the one here in VS Code, and you can type pip install requests, and you'll see it installed just like that. So I'll create a new file. I'll call it AOC input.py, but you can call it whatever you like. And first I'll import the sys library to access the command line arguments, and then I'll import requests to make the request to the Advent of Code website. Then I will make a constant variable for year. I'll set mine to 2024 for this example, but you can set it to whichever year you want to download input for. Then I'll make a function for fetching the input, and it will take the day that we want to download as an argument. And then I'll go ahead and write the main part of my program. So when we run this program, we want to be able to provide a day as an argument, and that day is the day we want to download input for. So to do that, we'll just go to args and sys.argv. And the first item in that list is just the name of the program we're running, so we'll take everything after that. And then day is the int of args 0. And then finally, we can just fetch input for the day that we want to get it for. So now let's write fetch input. We'll start with a URL, which I'll put in an F string. And this will be the URL of our puzzle input. So as a template, I'll just take 2024 day 1. And I'll go ahead and paste it into my file, and I'm going to replace the year 2024 with our constant variable year, and I'm also going to replace this 1 with our day argument. Then let's print a little message to the user, fetching input for day, and then we'll say our response is equal to requests.get URL. So let's go ahead and try it out. We'll just print response.text. And if I give this a little run for day 1, well, you'll see it says puzzle inputs differ by user. Please log in to get your puzzle input. So each user on Advent of Code has a unique puzzle input, and in order to authenticate the users, the website assigns a session cookie. So let's go ahead and get that. So back on the Advent of Code website, I'll press F12 to access my developer tools. And you want to navigate to the network tab. I'm on Firefox and I have to reload here. Then you will go into this request and search for a parameter called cookie and copy that entire value. So you could just store your cookie here in a variable in your script, but if you're going to store this in a Git repository, it's a good idea to keep your personal cookie private, which we can do with a gitignore file, and I'll show you how to do that. So first, I'm going to create a new file called cookie.txt, and in here I will paste my cookie. You want to make sure and get the entire value, not just the number, but also this session equals or anything else that is on the front. And back here, instead of making a cookie variable, I will just make a cookie file. where the value is the path to the cookie.text. And now I'll write another function to get the cookie from the text file. You don't have to make it in a separate function, but this will help keep our code clean. So let's open and read the file. And we'll just set cookie equal to the first line of the file. So I added an R strip to be safe, and then we'll just return the cookie. Now down in our fetch input, we'll get the cookie. Cookie is equal to load cookie. And then we just need to make a small change to our request.get. We'll add a headers parameter, which takes a dictionary. And we can add, we want to add cookie with capital C as our key. And this comes from the cookie and session ID here from admin of code website. It's expecting this parameter exact match here. So we'll add cookie, and the value will be the cookie that we read in from the file. So if we go ahead and run our script again, we'll see we're fetching the input, and this time we were able to successfully get the puzzle input. So now, instead of printing to the terminal, let's write this to a file. And I'm just going to call it the day that we requested .in. Of course, opening it in write mode as out file. And you can just say our text is equal to response.text.rstrip and out file.write the text. So if we go ahead and run this, you'll see after fetching, we have our input here. And if I go down to the bottom, no extra line or anything. So now we are done writing the script, but for anyone who wants to keep their code in the Git repository and doesn't want to upload their cookie file, let's add one more file, which will be our gitignore, if you don't have it already. And in gitignore, you can just add the path to your cookie file like this, and it won't be added to your Git repository. So that's all for this video. We saw how to use Python to automatically download our admin of code puzzle input. If this was helpful, please leave a like and leave any questions in the comments. Thank you.